Well, thank you for doing this. It's Kramer and Geena. We're backstage. We're literally just talking about Sunday Fun Day and old couches back here with Ed Sheeran. Thank you for talking to us today, man. We appreciate that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay, I want to ask you some life advice because I feel like you're a deep spiritual kind of guy, man. And one thing we saw you do recently was hop off of Twitter. And I wanted to know, in hindsight, was that a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's the best thing I've done this year.
Is that
to
right?
Be honest, yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Like I just half of my life was spent reading things on Twitter, good and bad, and like I don't know, there's better things out there you can read.
I agree with that. I feel like every time I look at something, and not even just Twitter, but other social media, like if it changes your mood at all, then you shouldn't be on it.
No point,
It
right?
wasn't necessarily that it was just changing my mood. It's just there's nothing. Twitter has given everyone a voice, which in some way is good, but in some way, like, you know, it's nice to have like a magazine, like a newspaper like the New York Times have a music reviewer who knows his thing, rather than anyone being allowed to be a
Not
music
a 12-year-old
reviewer.
from their basement, right?
Yeah, and I mean everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but it's just I don't know. It's very very loud.
It's got to be. Well, I can't imagine somebody like you, right? And then all of a sudden, going through your replies has got to be crazy. Do you remember that tweet that finally was just like, "That's enough. I'm done. Like, I can't handle this anymore."
No, because I came off it. So like there was no like one tweet, but I remember going back on it, and someone had pulled up loads of tweets from like when I was like 18, and I was like, oh come on! Like, if I was to go on that person's social media and pull up, you know, there's loads of stuff you can find, and like political correctness has changed so much in the last. And one of the tweets was like, I don't know why girls wear makeup. They look much better without makeup anyway. But obviously now people kind of can get offended by that. But at the time, I remember I had a girlfriend and I was like, you don't have to, like, please don't.
Right.
Like, I think you look great without it. Yeah, so like.
Get twisted.
People turn so much like little things into huge things. Just like I feel like your Game of Thrones was your appearance was such a, like how people responded to it. Yeah. Or do you even care? I wouldn't care.
I mean, it's my favorite show. I didn't really care at all because it's like, and if you ask any one of the people that didn't like it, if you asked them to do the same thing, they would have jumped to the opportunity.
Of
so
course.
like, you know, it's their hate is it's coming from a kind of small part of jealousy as well because most people want to make a cameo on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'll say it wasn't a small part of jealousy. It's a lot of jealousy.
Yeah.
That's usually where hate comes from.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine being on my favorite show and then getting. You just need to stay off Twitter. Let's just sum it up and just stay off all that.
No,
nonsense.
but that didn't. Like, I don't care if people like when people went at me for that. I was like, but I'm on the show. I don't care.
Right. I'm more on the show than you'll
I
ever
don't
be.
care. No, the thing that I just don't like. There's just a lot of finger pointing online, and I like half the people that get up in arms about things do things that if you would find out that you do them are way worse. So like it's just like don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, basically.
You know what? I think that's a good message. Can you look at the camera and just talk to the Twitter thugs out there right now? Because there's a lot of I think a lot of you guys need to hear from Ed because this is quality advice. What would you say to the thugs, the Twitter thugs?
We're all human beings and we all make mistakes. And get over yourselves, man. Jesus.
And don't watch Game of Thrones if you're not happy with it. Okay, it was an amazing cameo and you know it.
You know what I love though about music now? I feel like I do really feel like with like Chance the Rapper and a few other people, we can say you guys are actually able to like promote positivity. I feel like it's a new trend that promote positivity at your concerts and the music. Would you agree with that now? And I feel like you're part of that trend of like being able to express and spread that stuff within the music.
No, I think positivity has always been a thing that's been pushed in music. I just think human beings just have a tall poppy syndrome where they never like people doing better than them, and I don't think that's ever gonna stop. And I think you can, you know, Chance is really good at spreading positivity as well. But even Chance will sometimes says something and people are like, how dare you say that? And you know, it's like in the context of everything, he does so much good for so many people. Like focus on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, your music's meant a lot to a lot of people. Just watching the meet and greet line, I'm sure you feel it, but people are so happy to meet you. And your music means so much to a lot of people. So keep doing what you're doing. I mean,
thank you.
You don't need my advice to tell you that. But obviously keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, doing shows reminds you, because sometimes you get kind of dragged into online and you're like, oh, wow, does anyone actually like me? And then you're at a show playing. And we always give the back row the front row tickets. So we go up and find kids at the back row who sit in the God tickets and then put them at the front. So having those people at the front row every night where you watch just kids just beaming and smiling and getting so into music. That reminds you, like, that kind of internet world doesn't actually matter at all.
That's so cool for you to do that. So the album is Divide. It's amazing. When you put that out, was there any question of like, will this next one work or not? Because I mean, when I heard Shape of You, I was like, okay, we're fine. Deep breath.
He's Ed Sheeran. He's so talented. What do you mean if it's gonna work or not?
Nervous.
Well, no, because music, you never know what's going to work nowadays. But I think that the harder you can work, the better. So even if the songs were substandard, I knew that we were doing like a really intense promo run and doing all the TVs. So like the album was always going to work in some aspects.
Sure.
Maybe not as well as it's done, but it was always going to do something, because like, as long as you put in the work, even if the music's average, as long as you work hard, it can get somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it's not average. And neither was your cameo. Everything you do is just amazing.
I feel like this interview's focused a lot on all that negative stuff, and
Kramer.
Yeah, I know. No, I just like Twitter. Like, I came off Twitter because it's a positive for me, and I'm more active now on Instagram. I really don't care about the Game of Thrones thing because I'm on Game of Thrones, and I'm not. I feel like people think I'm a bit overly sensitive, and that isn't how it is at all. I just I don't want to spend my day.
You just don't need it, right? Why would you? Why would you even need that in your space? You're like, listen, first off, it shouldn't have been a story.
I look at my contemporaries, right, which I wouldn't have seen myself as contemporaries with them 2 years ago, but now it's at a level where most of the musicians that I'm on a similar level with in terms of record sales and venues that I'm playing, none of them use Twitter.
Sure.
No, at all. None of them go on Twitter.
Right.
There's a Drake line where he goes, going online, that's not part of my day.
So you're there.
I just need to step into that space now.
That's how you know you've made it. That's how you know you've made it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being an artist. Thank you for being real. I think I've interviewed you a few years ago, and you're still the same person, which is amazing.
Yeah,
so thank you.
Nice one.
Go get Divide. He's an awesome guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.